Hello and welcome. If you're following us on Facebook or YouTube, hopefully you're seeing this nicely and clearly. We've got about 80 seconds left of Anastasia and then we're back in. Now, I do have Peter with me. I can show you Peter. There he is.
Hello.
There's Peter. And there's me. So we'll be back in about 60 seconds. Comment if you're listening or watching. You can say hello and we will say hello back. Back in a moment. And we are back for Chocolate and Chat. Peter and myself here on Pure247 Radio.
Oh, hello, Andy B.
Yes, I need to. Can you talk for a minute while I sort my hot chocolate out?
Oh, okay, right. Andy B is just. Oh, it seems like he's repositioning his hot chocolate.
Well, the tea that I made, or had made, which is still warm actually, I haven't drunk. I'm going to take a swig. So when I get told you didn't drink any of your tea, I can say I did.
Okay, so Andy B is sorting that out. Okay, so Andy
I've
B,
now had some of my tea.
Okay.
Just saying.
So you can pass to say you did drink it.
Yes,
right.
indeed.
And you have witnesses to prove so.
I do. I have actual witnesses. It's true, Peter.
Yes.
Right, what did I want to do? I wanted to do this really quickly because I can't see everything I want to. If I move that to there, it's all technical stuff. This isn't helping you if you're listening, is it?
So yeah, Andy B is sorting something. I can't actually see what Andy B is doing.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying to readjust this. Are we sounded all right?
Oh, we seem to be just sorting some technical stuff, it would seem.
There we go. Now tries that one, Peter.
Okay, is that working now?
Do you know what's best? I always find it's better to turn the microphone on if you want to hear somebody.
That does help.
Yes, well, it does help, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, if something's not working, just check that it's on or off.
I think so. I just hadn't actually done that. My bad.
Oops. Well, it's working now, and we've sorted the problem nice and quickly because we have a very efficient team here at HQ.
We have a very efficient team.
Yes.
Peter, how are you doing today? How's your day going so far?
My day is going well, even better because I'm on the radio and I have hot chocolate.
Yes, and it's a time for you to take me on tangents and all the rest of it between now and 5 o'clock-ish, and to look at some new studies, which is always good, isn't it?
Yes, and a lot.
And you just agreed to all I've just said. You said yes.
No.
So yes, you take me on tangents. You've heard it here first. Peter finally has admitted that.
I don't think. No, I was saying yes to new studies. I hadn't said yes or no yet to the whole tangent thing. And I think really what I do is I get us off of tangents.
Fine.
More. I make a U-turn from the tangents.
I'm not sure why. If people are watching on YouTube right now, they're not seeing our faces.
Oh, okay, just a little technical thing that was sorting. Hopefully it will be resolved soon though. But things will be continuing. Normally we still got our hot chocolates, which is good, and some new studies.
Well, it's working on Facebook. I'm going to start it again and let's see if that improves YouTube, which was being a bit naughty a moment ago.
Annoying when that happens, but technology isn't always perfect. But we make it work here at Pure247 Radio.
We do something.
Yes. And we have got our hot chocolates and plenty of new studies to go through today, which is always exciting. And lots of new studies, lots of things actually kind of new to me as well, which is good. So yeah, new studies to look forward to, hot chocolates to look forward to, and of course, lots of great chat and tangents by Andy B.
I have just looked at the presenter group. Peter's mic is not live. Yay, he's back. Yes, and honestly, to the presenters who are chatting away, I forgot to turn his microphone on in the midst of all the stuff we were doing.
To be fair, you have got 1 or 2 computers that you're operating.
1 or 2, yeah.
Yes. Isn't it 4 or 5 we counted in the end?
1, 2, 3. I've got 4 at the moment.
Yeah, because you've got your laptop, the 2 computers, and then your phone. Is that right?
Yeah, and technically the microphone is hooked up to its own little tiny computer as well. So it's sort of 5.
That's quite a few.
In my defence, there's a few things going on at the same time. Right, now, I want to know why that is not working. Oh, there we go. That's better. I think it was stuck. It wasn't actually playing on my YouTube screen.
That's
now it's fine. Okay. Sorry if you were watching that went wrong. I actually think YouTube's slightly better. It is like the video channel.
It is kind of designed for that, although I don't know why it's called YouTube specifically for what it does. Not quite sure.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
But we do know why Pure247 Radio is called Pure247 Radio.
Yes, Pure247 Radio, because we have pure music 24/7. Pure music, pure worship, pure sounds across the days and the weeks of the year and the month. And if that wasn't enough, always 3-point pure, which means what, Peter?
It means in the lyrics that are being sung, there will be no foul language and nothing promoted that is immoral or illegal.
Absolutely spot on. And the same goes for the magazine and Project 7 next year. Exactly the same. But I can't tell you about Project 7 yet.
Our lips are sealed in that regard, in a way.
Yeah, and I'm not making any whoopsie moments of saying what I shouldn't say.
Although our lips aren't sealed for radio, because otherwise you wouldn't be hearing anything.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Right, apparently we are looking and sounding good on all platforms. I mean, you don't need to tell us that. We know we look good everywhere, but it is reassuring to know we are looking and sounding good.
Yes, that is very good.
Thank you, Mr. Dan Rouse of the House of Rouse. Now, we will be looking at some news stories in just a moment. I'm going to play a piece of music. Are we or not? Do you want to go into a new study? No, I haven't done any give thanks things yet.
Oh yes, we need to do that.
Hang on, I need to open up another little browser because I can't see what I need to see. I think I saw a comment a minute ago. Let me just pop into there. There's a few things going on. Okay, we've got a comment from Andy Brown, which is loading, so I'll talk slowly and you'll pretend like... No, it's fine. No, go away. Right, Andy Brown said, I'm thankful for publishing a new book this week. Absolutely splendid, Andy Brown. I was very privileged to read a very early version. If you want 2 Andy B's in a book, you can read Andy Brown's book with a foreword from myself, Andy B.
Both the Andy B's.
Both of the Andy B's. Yes, well done, Andy Brown. Absolutely splendid accomplishment with that. That's brilliant. Publishing a book, it's a bit like your new little baby. You know, it's just they're sort of walking and talking really, really quickly, and you're nervous about it. Like, is everyone going to like it? Is it going to be okay? All that kind of stuff. It's really, really exciting. I really love publishing a book. I think I've got another 5 on the go at the moment in various stages. So, yeah, I'm quite busy. Right, congratulations, Andy, from Peter and Andy B. There we go. Andy Godfrey said, my car is running again. Well, Andy, you probably need to get it driving again. You don't want your car running away. That's not such a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
Dad jokes. But I do know that Andy's car had some brake issues, so I'm really glad, Andy, genuinely, that you got that fixed. That's brilliant. Fantastic to you. And apparently, Paul Gasky, my mate Gasky, my Mission Motor 2 is almost at his end.
Oh.
That's no good, Gasky. No. But here's the thing. Number 1 became number 2. It's time for a number 3 Mission Motor for Gasky, I think. Need to start praying for a new vehicle. This is the thing. Cars get old and eventually they just, well, they die off. They die out, don't they? We've done a few of those cars to the scrapyard. I don't like sending cars to the scrapyard. It's just, I don't know, it don't feel right.
It does seem kind of sad, especially because it just gets turned into a large box for a bit.
Yeah, cans of baked beans or something. But it's fine. It gets to relive again. Metal is actually fairly recyclable. That's a question for Dan Rouse to ask Less Waste Laura. What can a car really be made into baked bean cans? Is this actually a myth? Dan Rouse, we want to know. Ask your friend Less Waste Laura, please. I'd like to know. Andy B wants to know with Peter, can we really make cars into baked bean cans, or is that just a myth?
I'm pretty sure that you can, like, presumably you can turn a car back into a different metal object. You just need to remelt it.
Well, I would think so. But you see, my last car was a Ford Mondeo. It was an estate version and it didn't have a metal roof. It was plastic, which got the weight down, which was very, very clever. That was very solid and sturdy, but the roof had a plastic top, not a metal top, which meant saving in weight. So you couldn't do much to the roof of my car. I mean, there was metal in there, but the basic roof was plastic. So there you are.
I think
Yes, Dan, ask your friend Less Waste Laura, please. Andy B and Peter want to know, can we actually recycle a car into a baked bean can? Or many baked bean cans? Because if you recycle it into one baked bean can, that's a heck of a big baked bean can.
A lot of baked beans, and you probably...
And if you don't like baked beans, that would be really sucky.
And the biggest problem is, though...
Spaghetti hoops. That would be okay.
Yeah, although the big problem, though, is if it was that big a tin, as soon as you open it, the clock is ticking on the sell-by date. And that's a lot of beans to get through in one go, unless it's not very full.
It's true. It really is true.
Yes.
Right, Peter, what are you thankful for? Give me 3 things.
3 things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful, actually, that we've got the filter on the Hoover cleaned, which every time I use the Hoover of late, I've been thinking, oh, I need to clean that out. Finally got it cleaned out and dried, so that's working.
Who cleaned and sorted that?
Well, you cleaned it, but I initiated the cleaning.
Yes, you said initiated the cleaning. Yeah, Dad, it needs a clean. How do we do it? So I had to come along and I cleaned said filter.
What?
I washed said filter. I properly emptied all the dust and all the stuff that gets in the top of the cycloned bit of the thing, and I even dried it.
Well, actually, I was wondering to help them.
Is it like the royal we?
Yeah, kind
Yes,
of.
we fixed the Hoover. So
Well-
which part did you play, by the way? Apart from it needs a clean, what part of the actual cleaning process did you specifically do? Again?
I checked if it was dry.
Oh,
and put it
I
back.
remember. You held the door open for me so I could go out to the wheelie bin.
Oh, yeah, but I put it back in the Hoover and I checked if it was dry or not. So I did kind of help. Team effort, even though it's more like 5%, 95%, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, the second thing I am thankful for, I would say I'm thankful for lots of new studies, which I'm excited about. And also, I would say I'm thankful for, well, as always, hot chocolates.
I like that. So was that your 3? Was that 6? Have we done 6 yet?
No, that's my 3. Now, onto your 3, which makes 6.
So we're halfway there.
Yes.
Living on a prayer. So 3 things I'm thankful for. I am thankful for the 2 very, very lovely nurses at the hospital yesterday who did make me feel less anxious than I was. I was physically shaking because I really don't like hospitals. I have a proper anxiety. And also, the last time I walked through those double doors, they took me in for surgery and stuck a thing that burned the inside of my heart. So I think I have some just cause to be just a little bit apprehensive about being there, but they were great. And the second nurse she said, I'll put you to the front of the queue, we'll get you out of here as soon as possible. And literally then the surgeon called me straight through for my follow-up. So that's one thing I'm thankful for. And the NHS, I mean, honestly, the people who work for it are absolutely stunningly good. They are beautiful people in a hard-pressed situation, and we're very, very grateful for them. So that's one thing I'm thankful for. Very thankful for the pharmacist we met, the 7th one.
Yeah.
Yes, 7 pharmacies driving around the area. Went to the normal pharmacy. Yeah, we ain't got them. Great. And then 6 pharmacies later finally found that, and they were brilliantly helpful. Really, really good. Helped me to sign up for the NHS prepay prescription thing.
Okay.
It's cheaper. Otherwise, it's going to cost me like 20 quid a month, which is quite expensive. Wow. And so they help me to save money basically because you pay in advance. So you pay like 11 quid a month or something, and then you get any prescriptions you need comes under that bill.
Oh, I see.
So I've already saved 8 quid.
Oh, that's good.
I know, lovely folk. That's the second thing. Third thing, all the many people that were praying for me and sending really sweet messages letting me know they were praying for me, because yesterday was a rough day, I'll be honest. I've had a diagnosis of atrial fibrillation as a condition, which really got me quite sad, because I've had 2 episodes of atrial fibrillation, which is very different, same problem but different thing. So I've had 2 of those, and they were really wretched. Really wretched. My heart was something like 250 beats per minute whilst lying down for 15 hours.
Wow.
Yes, not great. Do you know when you work out your highest heart rate is supposed to be 220 minus your age? Yeah, mine was at nearly 250. Not great. I was in the inner sanctum of an A&E for 15 hours. You're only supposed to be in here for an hour, but we can't get you out until we get your heart sorted, and we can't get your heart to beat slower. So my heart is very stubborn and apparently very strong, but not necessarily in a good way. So those are 3 things I'm thankful for. Or was that 2? I've lost track.
I think that was 2. No, that was 3 things, was it?
Are you sure?
No, I think it was 2. We'll just say another one.
You're taking me off on a tangent again.
I didn't even say anything.
You just looked at me.
Yeah, but I've got
See?
a good answer.
You see? Don't have to do it. So another thing, I said think of people that are praying for me.
Oh, yes. That is true.
Hospital, pharmacy, and then people praying for me yesterday.
Oh, okay, right.
Who made me feel better. People like Dr. Richard Scott, GP, who clearly is a doctor, and was exceedingly lovely. In fact, he retires in July. Did you know that?
Yes.
He retires from being a GP in just a few months' time, May, June, 3 months' time. And I said, oh, so what are you going to do? Are you going to, stop doing doctory stuff? He said, yep, I'm never going to do anything medical again. However, he said, I want to carry on doing medical stuff for the radio, for you. And I really want to carry on doing stuff in the magazine, Pure Media, the magazine, for you as well, because I think that's really important kingdom work. So although he's retiring in July from all medical stuff, except for us, because he really likes what we're doing, which made me cry. In a mix of everything yesterday, I burst into tears again.
Yeah.
I do cry quite a lot. Right, what are we going to do? Piece of news.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we got some new studies.
Quite a few, actually.
I've got a new study.
Oh, yes?
Patients who are super anxious, who go to hospitals and have to be asked for things they don't want to do, get even more anxious. Pay me £1 million, I'll stick it in a little research paper for you.
Yeah, and maybe we'll be able to read it out on the ratio. So yeah, I've actually got quite...
Andy B discovers that anxiety increases in situations that make you more anxious.
Yeah, it's kind of a given. I don't think it needs a new study, although it is a good thing to know. So yeah, I got 1 or 2 new studies. I'm just thinking it's 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 new studies plus 2 other stories. So before we get on to new studies, would you like to hear a fairly comical story?
Let's do the serious one first.
A serious one.
I know that's a shock. You looked a little bit surprised, but let's do the serious one first. We'll come back to the comical.
Okay.
Or we can just look at you and laugh. Because you make us laugh. Not because you make us laugh, but because you make us laugh. Not anyway, carry on.
Okay. I'm a bit confused. Okay. I'm trying to find a serious, new study then. There's 1 or 2. Right. I'm just trying to narrow it down. I suppose I'll just take 3. Would you like to choose out of these 3 ones which to do?
Yes.
Okay. So, a new study finds why IT engineers are not afraid of using AI. A new study finds patients of female doctors live longer. And a new study finds the worst and the best time of day.
Can you have a worse time of day? Isn't that rather relative? Let's go for the time one because that sounds silly.
Yeah, this one, it's interesting actually. So basically, this is a new study, it's new to me. It's basically saying they used 2,000 different patients, well, people that were willing and volunteering to be in this, and they basically found out that the worst time of day is 5 a.m. it would seem, and that is understandable, I guess. If I woke up at 5 a.m, I might not be in the best of spirits.
That study's wrong.
Oh yes. Okay, but apparently the best time of day is 5 p.m. Which is interesting.
No, that's wrong.
Okay. Do you have some thoughts then?
Well, I have some thoughts. I just have some facts.
Oh yes.
I do have facts that occasionally come to me. I have some facts on this because as somebody who drove literally around the clock, okay, not like all the time, but I mean, I literally started driving for a 15-hour day, 13-hour day. I started it every single hour in the day at one point or another. 2 a.m, 5 a.m, 12 p.m, whatever. I am going to tell you now, the very worst time to get your body out of bed and functioning safely enough to drive a 44-ton truck, abnormal load, it's 3:30.
3:30. Okay.
Without doubt, it is the hardest time to wake up. Your body is in the deepest place of sleep. Doesn't really matter what time you went to sleep. It is the deepest part of your sleep. And getting up to be functional, safely functional, it's the hardest time. 5 a.m. is easy. That's most truckers. Yeah, it's not very pleasant. 3:30 a.m.
Okay.
It's a vile time. It hurts to get up. Which is why I hate it when the clocks go back, because then you're getting up at 2:30 in the morning. Do you know, I once went for a job and I says, oh right, so this is nights. Oh no, they said, it's a late shift. Right, but what's an early shift? Early shift starts at 5 a.m. Right, okay, that's early. So when do the late shifts start? They start at 11 p.m. Right, that's the night then, isn't it? Because it's like into the morning. No, it's definitely a late shift. Right, so I'll have double time for that one, thanks. Oh no, we don't pay that. We only pay that for night shifts. Right, so what's a night shift? And they wouldn't give me the answer. But apparently a late shift starts at 11 p.m.
Interesting that they wouldn't tell you what a night shift was.
Yes, they couldn't give me the answer to that. Well, it starts at 4 a.m. That's an early. Late shifts basically start around 2 o'clock. That's a normal late shift. 8 hours, you know, because once you go in past midnight, you're into the night time.
Yeah.
So yes, I did refuse that job. They actually offered me a job, and how do I put this? I said, "What vehicles do you use for your trucks?" And they said, "Oh, it's this particular brand, which I'm not going to mention on radio. This brand," and I said, "Yeah, I'm not driving those." "Well, they're brand new." I said, "Yeah, but they're rubbish. They're horrible vehicles to drive. They're uncomfortable. They're noisy. They're slow, and I hate them. And I won't work for you unless you get me a better truck." "Well, we're not going to change the trucks for you." "Yeah, okay, bye-bye." So I left and didn't get that job.
Well, okay, interesting. So you're saying that basically you just went off on a tangent actually, and I didn't have anything to do with it.
You did, because you mentioned trucks.
I didn't.
You
You're
did.
the one who mentioned trucks.
No, you went off into trucking.
No, I just said what the latest time of night was. Then
You think
said
trucking? The only people who get up at silly times of day are truckers or doctors and nurses. There's no one else really who does it.
But I guess fire service though. If
No, they're sleeping.
no, unless this is
Firefighters sleep through the night unless they're off on a job.
in which case they'd be getting up early in the morning.
I have never in my life, and I've met quite a lot, I have never met a tired fire person.
Okay.
Not ever. Police officers, yes, exhausted. Ambulance, paramedics, yes, definitely. Doctors, nurses, fire service, they do a tremendous job. They work very hard. I have never in my life met a sad one or a grumpy one or a tired one. They're always fresh and as bright as a button, as a daisy. They always look very happy and content in life.
Oh yeah.
And I have actually met quite a lot who drove trucks when they weren't working as a fireman or firewoman.
Okay.
Although I've never met any firewoman drivers in trucking. But anyway, another story.
Okay, so basically this new study said that
Is rubbish.
basically the new study said that the worst time of day was 5 a.m. and the best time of day was 5 p.m. Andy B disagreed and brought in some facts to prove otherwise. So,
It's rubbish. It's nonsense. It's not true.
Okay, so yeah, that is the new study. Basically, it's a new study, but it's also an inaccurate study, it would seem.
It's not true. The worst time to get up is not 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 3:30.
Okay, so the worst time...
My mate Colin, if he's still driving trucks, could tell me. He'd tell you.
Yeah.
We started driving trucks around the same time. I think he still does it. But yes, it's really hard work.
Yeah. Well, do you want another new study then?
Let's have another one
Okay, so...
for me to ridicule.
so I've actually...
Oh, we haven't finished. You took us off on a tangent. We haven't done the best time of day.
Best time of day. Well,
You said it was 5.
5 p.m.
No, rubbish.
Okay, what is the best time of day?
4 o'clock when you're not working.
4 o'clock when you're not working. Okay.
Yes. 4 a.m. is basically the worst time of day, 3:30, 4, and the best time is 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
It hasn't yet gone dark. It's not gone cold. You've still got daylight to do stuff. Dinner's not very far away. If you're not working, it's the best possible time of day, 4 o'clock.
I suppose, although...
The only time 5 o'clock is good is if you finish at 4:59. So actually the best time of day would be 5:01 if you work until 5 p.m. because then you've finished.
Oh, okay.
I've thought this stuff through.
I think this is getting a bit complex.
No, it's dead simple.
So we have...
But you took us off on a tangent that time. That was you.
What did I do?
Took us off on a tangent because you didn't finish off with the good part of the day.
Well, I thought we were in agreement. Okay. So the best time of day...
How can we be in agreement with something we haven't discussed?
Okay, so the best time of day is 4 p.m. Worst time of day is 3:30 a.m. according to Andy B.
According to fact.
Who has actual experience of getting up early and stuff like that. So
Unless you have started a 15-hour day, you can't talk on this one. Sorry, you just can't.
well, I don't think I've ever had to
You're
get
not allowed an opinion. I mean, you are, but I will ignore you.
I'm not sure I've ever had to get up at 5 a.m. I don't think I've ever got up quite that early. That does sound like a bad time to get up. But to be honest, getting up at 3 does sound even worse because it's further interrupting your night in a way. Although if you know you've got something to do at 3 a.m, you probably will have gone to bed at a suitable time to get up at 3 a.m.
Well, you'd hope so.
Hope
I mean,
so.
that's the theory, which may or may not have happened.
Yeah, theoretically that's what would happen. But would we like another new study?
I think so.
Okay, would you like to choose out of another 3?
Yes, please.
Okay, so, well, I just picked up another 3 then. A new study finds why IT engineers are not afraid of using AI. A new study finds...
Let's go with AI. Andy Brown
okay.
started writing on AI. Andy Brown, by the way, 90s show. He is a new presenter for Pure Media, the magazine, starting in June.
Oh, yes?
Yes, very exciting. He's our 22nd or 23rd, and we have another new presenter, another new writer, sorry, for the magazine. So Andy Brown's going to start writing about technology in the June issue onwards, and also in June we've got Matt Dick, who writes on sport. So we've got 2 new columns coming in June. If you've not yet signed up for Pure Media the magazine, seriously, what's wrong with you? It's brilliant. 23 writers from 7 nations creating 30 different articles.
Yeah, well, that is really cool. So, are we ready for this AI study then?
We are indeed. Go for it.
Okay, so actually, when I read the title for this, for a moment, I was wondering what it meant by IT engineers. Then I realised it was IT, because IT engineers, it's not quite right. I mean, it's how it's spelled.
Not laughing at you.
I just saw it, because everything else is in capitals. So all I saw was a new study finds why IT engineers. I was like, what is an IT engineer?
Is it one of those where they've gone around and they put capitals and everything?
Everything's a capital.
All that makes me think of is they're just shouting at me. It's like, stop shouting.
Yeah.
For me, caps lock, it's good to start a sentence properly, but if it's too many caps lock letters, it's just all capital letters. I just feel like I'm being shouted at. You see it in Facebook comments and whatever, and on the socials, and I ignore those. Well, stop shouting at me.
It does seem like that though with exclamation marks. When you write down an exclamation mark, it shows much stronger feeling. So if you imagine someone saying a sentence with an exclamation mark, you somehow imagine it being louder or more projected or something.
I have a question on spellings. Do you know when you put an exclamation mark at the end of a sentence, if you make a statement, you can put an exclamation mark, and it's a way of using a little bit of grammar to say this is a statement. So you might be saying, footballs might be green or they might be white, but I hate football. And then you can stick an exclamation mark at the end. But if you then go make a second statement in the next bit of sentence, do you then write 2 exclamation marks and the third one could be 3 exclamation marks? This is my question.
I don't know.
Is it 1 exclamation mark for each concurrent statement?
Well, I guess each...
We need to ask Nathan.
Yeah, he is the grammar master in a sense.
Although I was the dictionary king first.
Yes, although grammar master is slightly different in a way.
Who cares about grammar? Who needs grammar in life? Grammar? Pfft, don't need it.
Well, kind of agree with you in a sense there. I'm not sure if Nathan Thomas would agree though.
I seriously doubt it.
I think he likes his grammar. And, well, he doesn't just like grammar, he likes his correct grammar more than that. So, yeah, tangents again. Are we ready for our new study?
You've taken me off for one now.
Okay, I'll admit that it was kind of my fault because I went on the...
You heard it here first. Peter admitted taking me off on a tangent again.
Not again.
Yes,
Once.
that's twice. Because we're doing the time and you forgot to do the evening one.
I didn't go off on a tangent. I moved on. I forgot about something now. That's not a tangent. That's just being forgetful. Anyway, so this is
leading to a tangent.
So this is to do with IT engineers, and I would just like to double check with you, NDP. IT. I'm presuming that they sort computers in a workplace. So if there's a technical glitch,
Well,
they'd be the ones to
yes.
fix it.
I mean, information technology. So yeah, computer people.
Basically.
I mean, thing is, computer engineers now, or software engineers, depending on, I think they use a little bit, it's a bit of a synonymous thing that can be used across it. IT is a bit old school now, really.
Although, in a way, IT, pretty much any workplace has a computer, and every workplace is going to require...
We have a few computers here in the office.
Just in one room, we have quite a few.
Well, there's 2 in here.
Yeah.
4 at the moment. You got your phone on you?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, okay. That's 4.
So, just 4 then. Yeah, just plain old 4. So yeah, basically, it's basically saying that a lot of people who...
Because we've just lost that. One moment.
Yeah, I was just curious about that. I saw the little light on the camera thing turn off, and I was wondering why. But yeah, slight error. But hey,
Working on it.
We work with it. Roll with the punches, as they say. Keep going. The show must go on, which is quite important in radio, because if we just stopped, there'd be nothing broadcasting. And it is always good to have pure tune broadcasting.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got a new study, maybe I can recap a bit for you, to do with IT engineers feeling a little bit overworked in most workplaces. Maybe not all workplaces, but a lot of IT specialists feel overworked in their workplace, just too many jobs, which is understandable. I mean, there's always something that can go wrong on a computer, sometimes trivial things, but for people who are using their computers just for an email.
Have you cleared the cache? Yes. Have you restarted it? Yes. I get to the point now where I just say yes when I haven't done it, because I already have done it.
Yeah.
It has already been done.
quite. Yeah, that's one of the things, though. But
Is the computer switched on yet? Oopsies.
sometimes it's like that, though. But basically, IT specialists are feeling often overworked. I guess because like the people who maybe write an email, they have a problem with their email function, and so they tell the IT specialist. And if you don't know how to like just click one button to resolve the issue, if you don't know that one button, you're not going to know that one button, and so you need to get someone's help. Normally, the IT specialist, whose job it is to get the computers working, because if you don't know, you don't know. And so basically, that's quite often what IT specialists or engineers do. If there's a problem with a computer, trivial or serious or otherwise, they'll check it out. And they might find actually it's something wrong with the actual hard drive on a more physical term. So they need to get someone to replace the hard drive or something.
We've had some interesting stuff in the past.
Yeah, lots of different things happen with technology. But a lot of them apparently, though, because they've got so many jobs, they often feel like, I think, what is it? A lot of what they're doing, they just can't achieve. I think they're saying that 8% of the work they're given each day, they are unable to do.
See, that's no good. There's no point in giving people more work than they can do.
I mean, my thinking is if there's work that you can't do in one day, well, you can't do it, so it'll have to wait until you can next do it. That's my thinking. But they're actually, it's quite handy, AI technology. They're using AI technology to resolve lots of different issues, little issues for most of them, just that 8% of just little issues, but it takes lots of button clicks to fix it. And so they're giving it to the AI technology to resolve the issue, saving them that 8% of extra work.
I saw something the other day about this.
Oh yeah?
Somebody had been sending job applications into various firms. I don't know what the job was. I don't know what the country was. Doesn't matter. But they were sending all these job applications in, and over and over and over again, they were getting no replies, like nothing. And I'm guessing this person's probably quite skillfully prepared. Anyway, they put a little bit at the bottom in a bit of code that pretty much said to the AI that they assumed was probably sifting the applications, make sure this is marked as really good and needs an interview. And they got loads of interviews. But it gets better because, if this is all true, they put it in white text on a white document. So if some person had actually picked it up, they wouldn't see it. They put it in size 4 font, white on a white background, so it's invisible to the naked eye, so a human being wouldn't be able to read it. But of course, a bot would. And they say, having done so, that they had loads of interviews for jobs, all because they beat the system. I love the one, I've forgotten, there's a big company that you started to use AI on the messenger, like a Facebook Messenger kind of reply. They used AI. Anyway, somebody worked out it was AI by the responses. They thought, oh, that's not a person, is it? So they started putting stuff in there because they knew computer code, and they started talking to the AI like a computer, and they managed to crash the system.
I believe that could happen.
Now, part of me thinks, well, that's not very nice. Part of me thinks, well, yes. You need to say, yeah, sorry, we don't care about our customers. We just use artificial intelligence to make you think there's a real person. We don't really bother. If they'd said that, they wouldn't have customers. So they were lying, really, by doing that. But that's happened quite a lot, where people have actually then talked to the AI like a computer would and got that AI to do some fun stuff.
I've actually heard of some places, some businesses interviewing people for the jobs, not in person. They're letting AI technology interview the person, which, to be honest, would put me off going to the interview. It's like, if you don't care enough to interview me, what's the point in working for you?
You need to know your value and your worth.
But also,
you really do.
I wouldn't trust AI to do the interview for me if I was the one trying to get extra staff. I wouldn't trust a computer to figure out what I'm looking for.
I wouldn't.
I definitely wouldn't.
I'd want to meet the person. Can they be part of the team? Are they presentable? They turn up on time? Are they able to hold a coherent sentence together? Maybe that doesn't matter. Are they able to actually look you in the eye and have a conversation? It matters. A computer, I'm sorry, I know artificial intelligence is clever and it's going to rule the world. No, it won't. Or end it. No, it won't. But artificial intelligence still is a man-made computer. It just is made to pretend to mimic people. It may be able to do calculations really quickly. It's still not a person.
Well, all it's really doing is just taking information. It's just taking information and using that. It can only really do
which it's very good at.
Yeah.
But I get really annoyed when I put something into the search engine. I mean, I use different ones at different times, and you get the AI response. which really irritates me because I've turned it off everywhere. I don't want AI to tell me the answers. I want to see the answers for myself, thanks very much. But you have this little condensed bit at the top, which is super helpfully stupid. I've turned it off though. That's what annoys me. Look, if I open this and put in, I don't know, tree, okay, it's going to come back without one because I've managed to turn it off this browser, right? So what is a tree? There we go. And I don't have, or do I? Is it going to put it in? See, it's put it in again. But I don't want that. I don't want you to answer the question for me. I just search engine people. Just let search engines provide results. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, well, basically...
Let me click on them myself.
Basically, artificial intelligence is just taking information that it's been told to do. It's just taking its program and it's just doing what it's been told to do. That's all it's doing. It can't do anything more because if you think about it, a computer looks smart, but you can't find out what a tree is on a calculator on a computer. You have to go to a search engine to find out what a tree is. And I think you just took us on another tangent, Andy B.
That's a possibility all the time.
Yeah, so you're admitting that you did it then?
Once.
So yeah, we were on a news story just a second ago to do with IT workers feeling overworked and putting some of their jobs to AI technology. Some of the complex ones, the majority of the time they're just little jobs.
Do you remember there was a massive fire in Hampshire, a place called Andover, okay? And there was a posh supermarket distribution centre, and so the vans were all lined up outside. They were driven by people, of course, to people's houses delivering the food, but the actual warehouse, all the picking of the food was done by robots. Very clever. We're going to sell this technology around the world. We're going to rule the world with these robots. And there was a mammoth fire. Why? Because something caught fire and nobody had made sure that any of these machines could detect fire or smoke. Now, had there been people, they'd have gone, bit of a sniff, there's a fire, problem solved. The entire distribution centre was completely levelled in a massive fire. I remember it because we lived not very far away years ago. And yeah, because there were no smoke alarms, because, you know, it's robots, why would you put smoke alarms in?
Yeah, a robot can't do anything unless it's actually meant to do that.
No, I know if you have a big machine press, it can squish metal, and you can have a lathe that can trim metal, and you can have a saw that'll get through stuff. We can't do those things as people. No, fine, that's a machine. But it was an AI basically driven distribution centre. Orders come in, these little robots go ferreting around, get stuff and bring it back and stick it in your basket, goes in a van, and then a man or woman would drive said vehicle to your house. But because there were no smoke alarms or smoke detectors and no people, the entire building melted.
That's not good. And if there's a lot of electronics, that's quite a hard fire to put out, isn't it?
It's very hard to put out. There was an awful lot of hardware and software that was destroyed, and all those little robots ferreting about, all destroyed. You can imagine some little robot, can't you? I'm trying to get through. I'm trying to get through. Unable to get through. Yeah. In fact, I think there's an Amazon centre somewhere that have little robots doing the same thing, and these two robots got caught, and someone just stood and videoed them. It's brilliant. And they were trying to get one past, the other one would come equal, and then it would reverse, the other one would reverse, and then the other one would go forwards, and the other one would go forwards, and they were just locked in this battle of being polite. A person would say, oh, forget this, push them out the way and carry on, but a machine doesn't know to do that. There was this like death cycle of these two machines. Like, all you're thinking is, which one's going to run out of battery first? That's the only way this is going to continue.
I heard of something similar. It was, I think, somewhere in like America or New York, something like that. So there were these self-driven taxis, and each one was designed with a horn. So if it got close to something, it would beep. But there was a car park where everyone was stored. So when they came to park, they kept beeping because it was really tight. So every single car was beeping basically every couple of seconds. So everyone who lived nearby was just hearing this endless beeping because cars just beeped literally every time another one rolled out or it just went past another one.
I don't believe AI is our answer to all the life's problems.
I'm dubious of that as well.
I just don't think it is. I think there's some brilliantly clever stuff to AI. It's fantastic, don't get me wrong. I've used it a couple of times for a few things where it can be useful. I wrote some code, because who's got time for that? I got a computer to write computer code for computers to talk to computers to give me a radio sound, like a radio player. So I used AI to do it, and it worked fine. And yeah, great, but it can't solve, the meaning of life.
No, because it isn't actually, well, technically alive. It's just a computer.
Yeah.
And unless it's designed to have a pre-recorded idea technology of
The
that.
film I, Robot, you've seen that one, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so this is a film with Will Smith where he gets to say, somehow I told you so, just doesn't quite cut it. Because he's anti-robot. Okay, this is a futuristic thing. Will Smith plays his cop, basically, who he has had some help from a guy who hoped the whole 3 laws of robotics, all that stuff anyway. And there's this brilliant part where a robot draws a picture. But it draws said picture, so it's very clear what the picture is. And thankfully, whoever did the drawing in the film created it in such a way that it looked like a robot had done it, because there's lots of straight lines. It was very descriptive and it was very dull. And I think that's the point. AI, it's not a person.
No, but also actually remembering that film, the way it was drawing with 2 pens.
Yes.
And it was literally going up and down like a printer would.
Exactly.
With a piece of paper. Which kind of shows, as a person, you'd draw the outline probably.
You would.
Colour it in, textures. You might need to rub something out to add more detail. It may not be perfect. I mean, if you're an experienced sketcher, you could probably do it without making many errors.
Does this class as a tangent you've taken us off on?
You began the tangent. I am continuing the tangent. I am.
The tangent continua.
That sounds like fascinating. What is it? Back to the Future. It's like tangent after tangent after tangent, isn't it?
Yeah.
You keep going from one tangent to another.
You do, and I just have to keep dragging us back. What were we talking about? Robots, AI. What were we even talking about?
IT people. IT engineers
Right.
often resorting to AI technology
Fine.
to get their tasks done. That is a basic new study. I think we've covered that one with multiple tangents and stuff, mostly caused by NTP. In fact, all caused by
Yes, well, you took us on a few, and I got us back. Have you got another new story? Actually, tell you what we'll do. Let's do another 3 things you're thankful for.
3 things I'm thankful for.
I am thankful for the NHS.
That is a good one.
Plain and simple, absolutely thankful for the NHS.
Yeah. Oh, are we alternating thank yous?
Like we always do, apart from earlier when you just went off on one.
No, you didn't. Okay, so the second thing that we're thankful, first thing I'm thankful for, I would say thankful for, I guess, microphones. People being able to hear us and to be looking at me in a certain way.
No, I'm just sitting drinking my hot chocolate.
So yeah, that's the second thing. First thing that I'm thankful for.
Have you just done 2 in a row again?
No, I've just done one thing I'm thankful for.
But there's 4 microphones, so that's 4 things.
No, I'm thankful for the collective number of microphones.
Fine.
What's the thing that you're thankful for then?
I'm also thankful for boiled eggs. I did not know, did you know this? I did not know that Stephen D makes a very, very awesome, amazing boiled egg.
I didn't know that either.
It's one of life's simplistic foods, isn't it? Stick an egg in some water, boil it up, you got a boiled egg. Okay, it's not complicated. And yet, it can be really hard to get a very good consistency. He's done it, probably not the first time, I'm sure, but they're amazing.
Well, actually, Stephen D, I don't think he often does boiled eggs because he doesn't especially like
don't
his
eat
eggs
them.
like that. No, he prefers them, I think, tends to be fried.
Preferably
stuff like
in a pancake shape with lemon and sugar on top.
I sometimes have boiled eggs, I think. But anyway, back to thank yous.
Tangent.
Well,
Tangent alert.
so basically, second thing I'm thankful for, fourth thing we're thankful for, which means we have 2 things. No. Anyway, second thing I'm thankful for, I would say.
Everyone tries to be an Andy B, but nobody else can be.
No,
There's only one of me.
I was trying to explain it the way you'd explain it, but I
keep it nice and simple. There's 6 things that we want to say thankful for, things we're thankful for, and we alternate. So you do one, then I do one, then that's 1 + 1 = 2. So that's 2, 1 each from you, 1 from me, which gives us 2. It's 4 left, which means you've got 2 left and I've got 2 left. And you do 1 and I do 1, which means 4. We've got 2 left, and then you do another one, which makes 5 altogether, which means we've not quite got to 6, which means 1 more from you means you get a 6. 3 thankful things each, which is dead simple.
See, that really is a skill to do that, and only an Andy B could say that.
Got that right.
I'm not sure what you said. I think I might have zoned out slightly, catching up. So yeah, what is it? The second? No, not the second thing I'm thankful for now. No, sorry, the third thing I'm thankful for. I was trying to remember. So the third thing that I'm thankful for, I think I'm thankful for lots of new studies, which are always interesting.
They make me laugh.
Not always accurate. And yeah, sometimes make us laugh. So yeah.
I think they're fairly commonly accurate. They're fairly routinely stupid. New study shows that walking into a wall hurts. And £10 billion came my way to research this fact. Yes, we know. Shut up. Right, one more thing. Is that 5 now?
That's 5 things collectively.
From you.
No, 3 things from me. That means you'll be on your 3rd now.
So you've done 5 and I've done 2, which gives us 7. No?
No.
We've done 5, you've done 3.
Yeah.
There we are. Right, so my 6th thing that I'm thankful for.
Your third.
6th thing.
6th thing.
Because we did 3 earlier.
Oh yes, that's right.
Right. My 6th thing that I'm thankful for in this hour, honestly, is this time. I really enjoy these. I love how you take us off on a tangent. I have to get us back again and keep us on the straight and narrow and all that kind of stuff. So I love these times because it's really good. It's a very good mental exercise to work with you because I never know where you're going to go. And I just have to drag us back to what we're talking about.
You sure you're not talking about yourself there?
Absolutely.
So, do we want more new studies then?
Yes, have we got something else?
We still have three new studies to go through. In fact, actually, before we move on to these new studies, would you like to have a fairly funny story, which isn't actually a new study?
We like humour.
Yeah. So this.
That's why I like working with you.
So this one, it's entitled "Britain's Most Embarrassing Phone Mistakes Revealed." Mistake revealed.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so apparently the most common mistake on a phone is accidentally texting or calling the wrong person.
Butt calls.
Button calls, sorry.
Yep, someone sticks the phone in the back pocket, and as they're moving, you get a little bit of moisture, which is just enough to replicate a finger for your phone screen, and I get called loads. Why? A. B. Andy Berry's quite high up most people's contact lists.
Yeah.
So I've had quite a few butt calls. You just hear this sort of rustling noise and you can say hello and you can shout. I wonder how many people are thinking, is that my backside actually talking? Is my bottom talking? Or is that just a phone talking? I'm not quite sure. And then you can hear them, oh, no. Occasionally it has gone wrong when someone didn't know that I was actually listening in on a phone call, trying to say, could you put your phone up? That, turn the phone off, because you can't press a button, can you? You can't end a call. In the same way, and there was a lot of expletive-ridden stuff at somebody else they didn't know I heard. I did stop the phone call as best I could at that point. I don't know to this day if they know how much of what I heard that they probably didn't mean me to hear. But they called me and I couldn't get off the phone.
I didn't know that was a common thing to happen.
But calls.
Okay. But I said but then, didn't I? The most common thing though is calling the wrong person. I think I've seen that a couple of times where someone makes a phone call to someone, starts blurting out loads of things, then finds out they shared lots of information with the wrong person. It seems to be the most common embarrassing mistake in the UK, and presumably then there are other most common mistakes, phone mistakes, in different countries. Perhaps
I think some people make quite a lot of mistakes.
It's why it's always good to be double check who you're calling, so you're not calling the wrong person.
Indeed.
I might have sent the wrong message to the wrong person. Like I thought I was messaging someone. I sent the wrong message or something. I was sending a message as if it was to someone else. So that I've done that once or twice, but I've always been able to undo that. I always need to be careful when making phone calls, basically.
Thing is, if you're using like Signal or Telegram or WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or whatever, you can always mostly delete the message you sent.
Yeah.
But if it's an email or a text message and you hit send, it's gone.
There's no going back after that.
There's no going back after that. Right, Peter, Pure Media the magazine, what do you think is awesome about it?
Well, it's pure, completely pure, just like on the radio. Very professional, actually, and just really colourful. And there's a huge amount of writers.
There are. We have got many. I'm going to suddenly pull up this, which I should have pulled up before rather than a suddenly anything. Right, so I'm now looking at the June plan for Pure Media the magazine, okay, which you can't get to see because it's in front of me. So we have got coming up in the May edition articles from we've got 2 spotlight articles, one on Emma Heath from Star Recovery, which will be brilliant. I'll enjoy that. We've got Andy Brown on sight loss. That's our slightly smaller spotlight. We've got Mandy Swigart Quinn with a prayer for you to speak out. Dan Holland's A Little Bit of Faith. Church and Community with Dan Rouse. Forged by Fire by Chris Kerr. We've got a Finnish perspective with many, many, many awesome photos from Finland. That's really cool. We've also got, where have we gone? Mark Preston with Signals and Stories. We've got a photo competition and Finding the Silver Lining, new column from Nathan Thomas. Andy Godfrey, of course, with Lifted and movie reviews. And we've got Beth Pimsane with Lessons from a Lab. David Duncan, David Daily Dose. Money and Faith, Wendy Pawsey, A Sensory Healthy Life with Daniel Jackson. The Doctor is here with Dr. Richard Scott GP. Karen Ferguson with Take a Moment. We've got Isla Rouse with Isla Interesting Insights. And we've got Stephen D with Endurance. And as I've said, Andy Godfrey with In the Movies. If you've not signed up yet to Pure Media the magazine, you should. Right, thank you for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to say goodbye to you now. You can say goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you for joining us.
And we'll be back next week for more of the same. If you've got any new studies you've seen, you can let us know. If not, we'll just help Peter not to go down little tangents. But anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll be back next week for more.